Welcome to the locdnpod.
We're your hosts,
Mina
and Shelly, here to bring you the conversations you didn't know you needed.
If you're ready to dive deep into unapologetic authenticity, you're in the right place.
But fair warning, if you're not here to be real and embrace your truth, this might not be the vibe for you.
We're on a mission to elevate our personal growth journeys through faith, breaking generational curses, and holding ourselves accountable.
So, if you're looking to surround yourself with positive energy and find tools to help you level up, lock in with us.
Well, hey peeps.
Hey.
We are back.
Welcome
with another
back.
Episode of the locdnpod. Okay? If you are new here, welcome. We are your hosts, Mina and
Shelly.
We are the locdnpod. So something that we want to be here is transparent, right? So we have to let y'all in on a little something. We're fighting through some challenges at this moment. We lost some footage. We recorded this already, but we had to run it back. Why? Because life sometimes, but we always have to rise above, right? So we're having a little check-in moment, or a little lock-in moment rather, with you, so you can understand that we're human, so you can understand that things just happen sometimes, and you have to decide, like, what are you gonna do?
Yep.
With what you have. How are you gonna deal with the cards that you have in front of you? And this is how we're choosing to deal with it. We're here. We're doing it again. So thank you. If you have returned for episode 2, thank you for locking in with us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Cause you just have to, you have to smile. You have to be, like you said, one of the things you have to work with what you got, and sometimes things don't go according to plan.
That's one thing for sure.
But it's important to look at the positives and understand if you do have anything left to work with, use it to your advantage. So
and that's just what we're doing. That's a testament to who we are. Not easy though. We could have easily been like, well, I guess it is what it is, and kind of chose to deal with it differently. But we know why we are here. We know why we started this. We know what the purpose is. So we are works in progress. That's not easy. And something that you said, when things don't always go according to plan, something that we heard in the sermon. We visited a church recently. We went on a little church date, which is something that we encourage people to do with your loved ones. If you are looking for a church home, visit different ones together with people that you want to worship with people that you want to fellowship with, and see how you feel, how it resonates, how it may not resonate, what you like, what you may take away, whatever that looks like. So the message was a reminder that once you decide to become a believer, once you decide to accept Jesus into your heart, you're making a declaration that says, like, whatever I have is yours, and whatever you have is mine. But that's conditional and contingent upon if we truly are able to surrender and give everything to God. And doing that, honey, that is the epitome of it's not going to always go according to plan.
No, you might as well just throw the plan or whatever you have in your head, just throw it away, because it don't matter. No. It don't matter what you have written down.
Not about you.
It don't matter what you say every day. If it's not in His will to give to you, it won't happen. Definitely not in the time frame we always expect it to happen, by a certain age. If it has a certain number, right? It just
away with it, because at that point you've like declared, like, I'm allowing your will to be done in my life. So forget what I want, forget how I saw it, forget what I had in place. I am surrendering to what it is that you see for me. And oftentimes we fight that, and it's so much better on the other side. We be fighting tooth and nail, like, I don't want to let this go.
Yeah.
I don't want to. And it's like, what are you holding on for? You don't even know what's to come. And if you can trust him through everything else, why can't you trust him through this? So that was something that I took away from the message. Like, really be willing to, whatever it is, whatever he needs to take away, let him do so. Don't hesitate. Don't feel like you got to hold on to it.
And that's when they say be careful what the things that you pray for, because that's a prayer that you say as a believer. That's a prayer for somebody you say as someone who has greater desires outside of their own, things that have nothing to do with you, right? You ask God to make room, to make space in your life for the things that he wants to implement, for the things that he wants you to have on his behalf. But it's like, do we realize what we're praying, what we're saying? Like, we're saying make space. That means clear things out. That means if somebody is not supposed to be there, they're gone.
Even if that means that's my boyfriend.
If something is not supposed to be there, you're not supposed to live somewhere, you're not supposed to work somewhere, like, it will be removed, whether you get fired, a mysterious
we're gonna get there soon. Don't you worry, we're gonna talk about that.
A mysterious situation happens at work and all of a sudden the company has to shut down. Like, there's so many things, both explainable and unexplainable, that happens because you're saying that you want more. So even, I feel like, I mean, and this was part of the reason why we did the 21-day fast. We wanted to be clear in the reasonings why we would be coming here and start recording episodes and start posting this online and broadcasting. We needed to be sure about what it is that we wanted individually and together as a collective. So we knew, outside of that, making sure we were prepared, we were preparing ourselves because we knew this would come with challenges and turmoil.
Yeah. Especially because of who we are and whose we are. It's never going to be easy, but that perseverance is the testing and the strengthening of your faith. Like, that perseverance, like, all right, God, I know I just dedicated a whole day to doing this, and I know I was just on such a high, and I know that it felt so good, but you're still good.
Who knows what the lesson is?
We don't know.
We don't know. But are we gonna, because of the importance of the message, are we gonna stop? Are we gonna allow that to dim our light or to discourage us into recording another episode or even dropping content? Because then what's the point? But we have to keep in mind that this is bigger than us. So what, it didn't record, or we lost the footage, or whatever the case may be, we have something to salvage off of. We lived the experience. So that's something we can always,
for sure,
we can always retell. We can always tell the story because it's our story to tell, and we have the capacity, we have the ability to speak, we have the resources to share. So it literally was like, okay, well, it happened, so now what?
That's something that was part of the sermon that we heard when we visited the church. The topic was don't drop the L, and in that context it was don't drop the boldness to talk about things, the boldness to talk about your relationship with your creator. Don't drop that boldness to share your testimony, and this is a part of our testimony right now. We did this already, and it's annoying that we got to do it again, but we committed to something, and our why is greater than the frustration that's temporarily here. We're not gonna think about this frustration when we're in Costa Rica hosting a retreat. We're not gonna be thinking about that
right now.
Okay, foreshadowing AF. If you don't want to lock in, that's what we're gonna say. So that, not dropping the L, that is the title of this message for many reasons, and we are being reminded of not dropping that L. You can't be locked in without an L. Okay, so this is a reminder not to drop that L, not to drop your boldness, not to forget why, not to forget who. Life does what it does, but it's about how you respond, how you pivot. And that is a reminder of something that we speak about often, the
Mm-hmm.
grieving of things. We're constantly grieving something. Like yesterday was an amazing day, and that we're not going to take away from the amazing day that it was, but it's like grieving the fact that that was like off of that high.
Mm-hmm.
It was a different energy, and we don't doubt that you guys are going to receive the same energy with this, just because this is who we are. But that energy was what we were so excited to share that. But we were like, all right, what we gonna do? So
yeah, that's like, hey, for my college students, or if you're a student, period, writing up a essay or typing up an essay, the computer shuts down on you, or it unplugs from the charger for a second, or it dies because you forgot to charge it. Well, what do you do? What do you do when you feel like that was your best work, or your most authentic,
what you do?
Or your most creative, and it's like, just because you lost the evidence, right? Does that mean it didn't happen? Doesn't mean that you now no longer have those skills, the capacity to be able to do it again. Because right? I feel just like we need to pay attention to how we pray for things, and praying for things specifically. The same thing with our dreams and aspirations, right? Because I can't say that I want a life like this to live every day. Well, every day I might run into a situation where I might have to re-record the video, or I'm gonna have to retell the story. Does it become now a chore or a negative thing because I have to say it again?
It's like, no, we just gotta talk about it again and just record it. So yeah, I know she was in her bag, y'all. But as her friend, I was like, I've been there. I know what that feels like. I know sometimes you just need a moment. I was like, I only have solutions to offer. So I'm like, when she finds one that she agrees with, we'll figure it out. We'll get there. But yeah, I guess in life, I'm just an emotional person. I've learned how to like regulate my emotions in a way that just get me to the end goal that I need. I'm like, it's okay, cry while you do it, do all of that, but just get what you need to get done. Because I have spent plenty of time like letting my emotion just cripple me, and I'm like, no, never again. You have to keep going. You can't stop. It's work to do, stuff to do. You got to keep it pushing, and I gently do it with myself, but I have to like it took a long time because like I said, my emotions used to cripple me. Like it used to take me down, and I was like, nah, we can't do that anymore. We can't afford to. Not with everything you say you want out of this life. We can't.
And that's a part of the grieving that you have to do every single day.
Oh yeah.
The old expectations, the old realizations, the old morals, beliefs, habits, everything that you no longer identify with. Like you're constantly going through this transition and transformation as you grow older, naturally, because now you're experiencing different environments, different people, different shows. The media is different, the radio stations is different, so everything plays a part into how you're molded as you get older. So you're constantly going through a death and rebirth, because although you're still the same being, your mindset changes, your habits change, your taste for certain things change. And I'm not just talking about food, like
that's it's layers to that one, because that's just on the level that you said it, and then when you tie spirituality into that, it makes like a deeper depth of that too. Like it's a double portion of that grieving process.
Yeah,
it's a double grief.
Yeah. Ooh. And then don't let you have a partner being in a relationship, because now y'all both have to grieve expectations you had for your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife. Like the mindset, certain thinking patterns that you used to have, it changes when you now talk about creating a life with another human being.
Ooh, baby.
And don't let you have a baby, because now that's another grieving process you have to go through.
The conversation that we had yesterday, just getting a peek at marriage from a biblical standpoint, not to say it deterred us from wanting to do it anymore, but it really made us sit back and ask, like, you sure that's what you want? The answer is still yes. It's like,
wow. We don't talk about, it's like, where are these conversations and why aren't they being had? Why aren't they being exposed? I feel like we hear from the happy couples, we hear from the inspirational couples that they have a story, but it still makes you want to, like, wow, I would love to be, yeah, I want that. I want to have a marriage like that one day. But then no one is really asking us the questions, like, why is it that you want to get married again? Okay, well, let me show you where that is not correct according to
biblical
the
exactly. When you're a believer, that's what we follow. We follow God's words, his commandments, what he left us as guidelines to be the ideal human beings while we're here. So marriage is outlined in that too. And something that I guess you could say it really caused me to look at things from a different lens is when I was told that I have to become what God says I'm supposed to be as a wife and switch on the woman that I've become when necessary, because that's something that God permitted me to do, but this is something that he said I have to be. And that me Miss Entrepreneur of the Century, as people be saying. Oh my gosh, not me getting a pain from almost laughing, because literally that was a realization.
It puts things into perspective, like, wow. And I think that just goes to show how much our upbringing can affect us, because now look how we've had to live our lives for the past 29, 31 years as
boss lady,
damn near head of household,
the it girl, the first child, the second eldest parent. We've had to be this boss and
the go-to friend, the strong friend
for so long,
the social friend,
and now you're telling me I have to put that as a secondary,
because it's not about me.
Because it's not about me anymore. And that's literally what you're saying. Like, God, by committing to this, I'm committing to this. That's
because I'm committed to you, and this is what you desire for me.
Y'all, my bubbles were bursting in so many different ways, and humbly so, rightfully so, because I'm like, God, I said it. I'm not leaving my 30s without my ring. So when it comes, y'all, just know it's gonna be here. But I had to really ask myself, how are you preparing for that? Don't just go into it blind and it not turn out how you thought it was going to turn out, and then you're upset, you're resentful. Really prepare yourself for what it is that you say that you want. So this is my preparation station situation for marriage, because I really, it's just something that I know God wanted for me, and it hasn't been a main focal point, but it's something that I know while I am in pursuit of other things, I'm in pursuit of it as well. So I want to be able to prepare myself as much as possible, especially because of how many people our age, they don't see marriage in such a healthy light. I want to change that for so many people, because I've seen it do incredible things for other people. So, grieving. Yeah. Talk about we had to grieve 48 minutes of what we wanted to give y'all. That was one. And then on top of that, we had to grieve what we thought being a wife was.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, because I feel like I'm in a weird I'm describing it as weird because it's a space I've never been in before. Okay. So like that's, I'll clarify that. I don't think it's a weird space. It just feels weird.
Yeah.
Because I've learning to decenter like relationships and men from my life. And that's not to say excuse me. That's not to say that I don't want to be in a relationship or I don't want to be in a marriage. That's just saying that is not my focus. My focus right now, because it's been on so many other people for so long, is genuinely me, and I'm standing 10 toes down in that. And me doesn't mean I can be me without the titles that society gives us, right? Yes, I can still be me even if I don't have kids, even if I don't have a husband, even if I don't have
the whatever things that we deem as success as a woman.
Yeah, like I can be successful without those things. I can have a fruitful life without those things. So I'm not in a rush. I'm not pressuring myself just because society says so. And just because there's not evidence of those things does not mean that I don't want those things. It's just, it hasn't happened in my life yet. And I've accepted that. I've been okay about it. I don't feel like I've reached that point yet where I feel like, oh my God, I'm getting like older and I still don't have. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I had a moment probably when like my 30s weren't scary at all for me. Like I was actually very excited. And once I turned 30, and even as I'm continuing through this journey, I'm like, wow, like I'm really in my 30s. This is crazy. And just thinking about how much more life I have to create the life to live, one, because we say it all the time. Once you get the title of the mother, of the wife, you can never say that you're not a mom again. You can't say you don't have kids. You know what I mean? That back. You will always be that title moving forward.
It looks like that's a wrap on today's episode of the Loc'd Pod.
We appreciate you for being a part of our journeys and taking us along on yours. Make sure you hit us up on all our platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, and TikTok. We want you in our community.
Remember, we drop new episodes every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Set those reminders and turn those post notifications on.
And don't sleep on us. Stay locked in with us in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts and stories.
Until next time, keep it unapologetic and authentic.